Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I know it takes a little while for this to perpetuate. Oop, I don't know if you heard that. Max got under my office chair and scared himself. So I think this is going to be an interesting Max sort of extravaganza. Okay, I see tons of you guys are here and I hear Max whining. And I have my keyboard here too for some reason. Come here, Max. Let's say hey to everybody. Come here. Come here. He never will. Come here. Oh, come here. You can see his little head.
You have to come back here. Come back here. Come back here. Come back here.
He's like, no. There you go. Okay, he's going back there for her.
Because he thinks I got
So there's
treats.
Max. Okay, yay. Now I know everything is perpetuated. I am wearing my vegan ice cream, a scoop of kindness t-shirt. You guys can get those somewhere on the YouTube if you're there. This is both a Q&A and I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the whole food plant-based Ninja Creami ebook too. So yay on all the things. Because I tell you what, my brain is like 99% Ninja Creami ice cream right now. Because I'm working on the book. I take the photos, I develop the recipes, I run the tester site, do all the things. So you might be like, well, where can I see a table of contents? Well, I haven't actually put that part together yet. So this is how you're getting a sneak peek. I know some of you have already pre-ordered the book. So I will tell you this, when you pre-order the book, which it's officially coming out May 31st at some point, hopefully early, perhaps later, and you'll get a free live class, which will be kind of similar to what we're doing today, only it'll be just for you guys. So, and that'll show up in your Thrive cart little place for those of you who've bought the book. So let's see what's going on. We have lots of people and welcome and thanks for coming to hang out with me. And in case you don't know, this is Cheryl, my lovely ice cream eater. What are you drinking this morning?
This is water, but earlier I had the blueberry. Was it a frappuccino?
Cremachino. That's the Ninja Creami word, cremachino. And if you don't do coffee, so in this new book there is going to be like drinks, and we may do a demo depending on how many questions there are to show you how you can do these cremachinos, slushies in your original machine. I have a deluxe machine there too, so we can talk about all the things. I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I've shot. I haven't shot all the photos. I think I still have 17 to go because there's going to be over 40 recipes at this point.
And there's like, I don't know, good 30 pints in the freezer right now.
There is 30 pints in the. We have a freezer downstairs, and our first seed food order came in.
That was a challenge.
So Cheryl took care of that for me, or I would be crying in the corner. Hey Justine, I'm just gonna run through some of the comments, and Lori is here, Jill is here, another Lori is here, Terry, Miss Terry Moses is here. Let's see, Deb Shoemaker says, no, is it Schumacher or Shoemaker? Schumacher, sorry about that.
I think.
You tell us and I will repronounce it. But Deb says, do you have a recipe for a raspberry shake? And I do have a raspberry matcha shake that you can leave the matcha out of. So my recipes and everybody's recipes really is a template for what you might want to do. And we can talk a little bit about that too. So for instance, with your cremachino had decaf in it, which I don't think you can get a decaf frappuccino, but you can also use something like Ticino or Dandy blend, like those coffee substitutes, and use those as well. Oh, yay, thank you. I'm so glad you're excited. I'm excited. Like I said, seriously, it's all I think about.
She's been working from the time she gets up until way late into the night, sometimes into the next morning.
Well, I've been going to bed early and getting up really early.
So Well, you've stayed up late a few nights.
Last night I stayed up till 11:30, and that was craziness.
There was one night you stayed up till like 1.
Oh, Robin SFOS, this is a perfect question. Any recipes using Japanese or Korean sweet potatoes instead of the addition to bananas? I know most of y'all have some serious feelings about bananas. She does too.
They're too sweet sometimes.
Oh, and I feel like are we too close? Is something, let me check something.
It does feel like we're off.
I feel like I'm right in your face and it's making me nervous. So I'm going to look at,
It might be
Where
whatever
is it?
scene window we have up.
no, I'm looking for the camera changer. I know what it is, but I don't, because my
Right there.
brain is, my brain is full of Ninja Creami. No?
It was right underneath it.
The camera has been moved, I think. But you know what? We're all good. Sorry for that emotional blip. It is a lot of creamy stuff. So let's go back. SFOS, which was saying any recipes using Japanese, Korean sweet potatoes. So I'm calling everything that is not orange or purple sweet potatoes, white sweet potatoes. And I'll make a definition of that in the book. So that would include the Korean, the Japanese, the Hana yams, white sweet potatoes. So yes, in any existing recipe, if it called for a cup of bananas, you could use a cup of cooked sweet potatoes, and that would work just as well. That includes my recipes. Cheryl finds that the banana changes the flavor for her.
Well, and it makes stuff sometimes too sweet for me.
So it can be, ice cream is very personal, and even like how much sweetener you might put in or what sweetener. So I'm going to talk you through a lot of that in the book, and I'll answer some of your questions now too, of course. Lena's here, and Tanya, and Jean, and Jane, and Robin. Oh, Daphne says, Yahoo, I made it to alive. I'm so excited that you're here. Robin's here. So many people. I may not be able to say everyone's name because I just looked at how many people are here, and it is more names than I can say in just like 10 minutes. So anyhow, big hugs, big warm welcome. If it's your first time here, since I'm expecting a few more people than in our normal lives, if you have a question, if you can put a little question mark or Q in front of it, that would be helpful. I'm pretty good at picking them out anyhow.
Yeah, you are.
That's because I'm nosy. I want to know what all's going on. Oh, Rabbi Beth, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Purchased my cookbook. Oh, you purchased the Ninja Creami Experience today and pre-ordered the book. Yay. And just remember, everybody, the Ninja Creami Experience includes ebook 1, does not include ebook 2. And there is a 50% off. I'm putting it on sale for 50% off. I was gonna do it next month, but we'll put it up in the chat in case you want it. And then you can order ebook 2, get ebook 1, and the experience. The Ninja Creami Experience is different from just an ebook in that there's about 17 short videos, so you can do everything from, what do you need?
I can't get it to copy it.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know what settings you have it on.
I just do Command C.
But I couldn't highlight it.
I don't know why. So I have my computer on super fast.
See? There it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. And I put it in already.
Okay.
So you'll be ready for the next one?
Maybe. Your computer, you always have weird settings on your computer that I don't use. You use like massive shortcuts.
I do. I got a lot to do. I already work 12 hours a day. I have to have all the shortcuts. Alrighty. So what I was saying is the Ninja Creami Experience includes ebook 1, not ebook 2. And you can unbox your Ninja Creami. It shows you about ice walls. It shows you about all the things. I will later this summer be adding videos on the deluxe. Right now there's not any, but I can still answer any questions you have about the deluxe. It's basically the same. The interface is very different, but it's not that hard.
And we'll have a separate version of, well, not really a separate version.
Maybe. I'm trying to decide right now with Ebook 2 if we're going to have 2 books, one that's original and one that's deluxe, or one that's combined. But there will be an Ebook 2 measurements for the deluxe, for sure, one way or the other. And it's just, I haven't started designing the book yet, so it depends on how clunky it is to put them in. It may just be 2 books. If you buy it through now, like through me and through Thrivecart, both of those books will be up there. So if you ever swap back and forth. Right now, Ebook 2 will not be available on Kindle or through Fourth Wall for a little while, probably a couple months, at least a whole month. At that point, if you buy through there, you would buy one or the other if they're separate books. And we're going to go back to Ebook 1 and make deluxe measurements. But that's a lot while I'm doing a book, so just be patient. Another thing to know, just in general, so the deluxe has, this is the deluxe pint, which you guys see, it's 3 cups. 3 cups is not a pint. This is the 3-cup container. This is the original 2-cup container. I've been seeing 80 bazillion questions. I don't see any recipes for the deluxe. I can't make the original ones. Yes, you can. It will come right here to this freeze fill line, because there's a freeze fill line if you make a drink, and then it adds space for drink. So right about there is about the same. And you absolutely can, you don't have to fill it to the maximum fill line, because if we only ate half of this, probably down to about a quarter, you can respin it. So I've spun this, I've eaten some, I've leveled it off, put it back in the freezer. So Cheryl, when I put it back in, would I do respin or would I do the original?
The original.
So like light ice cream or sorbet. Respin is only for something that's already softer. So if I spun it for me and then put it in the freezer for like 5 minutes and Cheryl said, well, I want some now.
It should still be soft enough that it could use just a respin on it.
Exactly. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
She's trying to train me so that I'll do all the spinning.
I would like her to. Like I'm going to have spun all the ice cream I need for the rest of the year. So you will be making dessert.
Yes.
For us for sure. Oh, hey, Lori. Let's see if there's some questions. And again, hey, kitty mommy. I always want to call you mama. I don't know why. Oh, you're so sweet, Obs. Okay, awesome. Nancy says, I'm going to move these just so you guys can see the comments better. Can't wait to see this live chat with that Ninja Creami machine that I bought and I still hate. So Miss Nancy, what I would like you to do is tell me what you don't like about it and put it in the comments. And we're going to keep going through the comments, so don't worry. Yeah, all the ice cream.
Yep.
And Obs, the thing is it's all whole food plant-based. In the ebook 2, almost all of the pints are sweetened with dates, date paste, applesauce, pears, canned pears with juice blended together. There are a couple things that have maple syrup, but they're going to have date alternatives as well, or date syrup or maple syrup. I think there's right now 2 or 3. One is maple walnut. So of course there's going to be maple, but there's so many workarounds. If you don't do maple syrup because it doesn't fit in with your eating plan, you could use maple extract to get that flavor and still use a different sweetener. So there's all kinds of workarounds for things. Aw, yay! I'm glad you're here to watch the live. Robin says she has 6 half pints in the freezer. And that's a great thing too, because you can just put half pints in. If you know that you're not wanting to eat a whole pint, you could freeze a bunch of half pints. Mm-hmm. Or you can freeze a whole pint, spin it, take out half, and put it back in. There's a lot of different ways. Oh, hey, Ryan. It's good to see you here. Oh, so many awesome people. Oh, Karen says excited to learn about the new creamy goodness. Lori L says, I always thought there weren't many people named Lori. I see a whole bunch of Loris here. Okay, Victoria. And Victoria is in the Whole Food Plant-Based Ninja Creami Facebook group and has some ebooks as well. If you want to pop those last two, I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat. There are two great Facebook groups. One is the Whole Food Plant-Based one, which is going to have whole food plant-based ingredients, so no protein powders, no anything like that. Cheryl, when you shake your hands like that, it just...
I'm sorry. I'm just having...
You can also do shift and do the arrow keys.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do it the way I want to do it, and your computer won't let me do it. So I'm just perplexed at what the setting is that I'm missing
wait
on
one
yours
second.
when it works fine on mine.
I'm not doing any second thing. I'm just clicking and then moving my finger. So I don't know why you're clicking. You don't need to right click.
Oh, you don't have your trackpad set up for clicking. That's what it is.
I hope not.
That's what it is. I have mine set up to click.
Okay, so I think we got that settled. So these groups are really good. If you're looking to make some stuff with protein powders, things like that, the Vegan Ninja Creami group is great. If you're looking to make things without that and pudding mixes, Whole Food Plant-Based is for you. I'm putting both in there because you guys may be a mix, and that's great. The recipes in my ebook too are all whole food plant-based. So there will be one recipe that has a protein powder, and I'm recommending two, well, Rose is recommending 2 whole food plant-based protein powders because I get so many questions about it. However, you're going to be able to make that recipe without it. So everything is going to have whole food plant-based options. Yeah, and Tanya loves bananas. Yeah, some people are just not. Oh, I like that, Aubrey. Team banana. Yeah, vanilla banana is really good. Ooh, I love this question, Miss Terry. How would I use peach bitters in a slushie? Oh. So you could do it 2 ways. You could go ahead and put a few drops because if you're using bitters, which are normally used in cocktails to add that extra flavor, and I use it a lot in mocktails, you'll probably just put a few drops. And so what I would do is when you're blending the mixture, add a few drops, mix it up, taste it, make sure it's about right. You could also, when you're spinning it and doing the second spin, you can go ahead and add some bitters then too. So if you've already have a pint that you'd like to make into a slushie, then that's what I would do, add as you're spinning with your liquid. And Tanya, you said you've only found orange. Tell me what the orange is. I'm not sure what that is. That's referring to. Aw, thank you, CJ. I appreciate it. CJ is testing so many recipes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for me not having to eat everything several times. So.
And so all my books, because I think this is like my 13th book or something, all my books have a tester team that try things and give suggestions and help make everything better. And CJ, you're a big part of that. Tanya says, could you use zucchini or cauliflower in place of the white sweet potato? You can. So with zucchini, I'm finding that that's going to do a little bit better with sorbets. It's going to, because it's so much more watery, it's going to have a higher water content and be slightly icy. Cauliflower is not really going to have that to the same extent. I will say the 2 best ways to make something extra creamy, like premium ice cream creamy, are the sweet potatoes, the white sweet potatoes, and Okara, which is just soy milk pulp. So if you're not making your own soy milk, you're not going to have Okara. You can't just go and buy it. You could use nut milk pulp in there. You can use, I've not too dried out of brown rice. We've got a pint that uses brown rice. I have a pint that uses corn. I have a pint with green peas that I'm going to show you in a little bit too. Oh, and Catherine says she uses sweet potatoes and cauliflower. And that's another thing you can do is kind of combo it. if you're using bananas to sweeten it, you want to kind of take in consideration, is banana going to change the taste a lot? Cheryl is definitely no bananas in her chocolate ice cream. So, you know, there's all different kinds of ways you can do this. Yeah, Liz is saying ice cream is very personal, and it is, because I might like something one way and you like it another. And if I spin it and it's sweet enough for me, not sweet enough for Cheryl, I can scoop mine out, add an additional little bit of liquid sweetener. Like, you can't just plop a date in there, but you could either put some warm water over date paste, use date syrup, add in some pear puree, something like that. If you use maple syrup, you can add a little maple syrup in there, and I can respin it, and then it would be sweeter for her.
Which I don't always like it to be sweeter, so it would probably be the other way around.
It would be the other way around. Although I gave Katya, you guys have seen Katya Gorbachova on my show, and you should totally be watching her YouTube, because she's in Russia, and she's showing all these cool videos. Like, there was a video in the grocery store, and I watched it all. I need to find a tour that's just like international grocery stores around the world, because I think that would be really awesome. And so Obs was just showing you how to do a question. I appreciate that, moderator Obs. Oh, Evan says, hi, first time here, have my Ninja for 3 days, love it, made 5 pints already, and that's awesome. Awesome, this is great. Raven saying, what does the Okara, which is the soy milk pulp, add to recipes besides creaminess? It makes the mixture thicker and creamier. It doesn't really add any flavor. No. I don't notice that I get a soy flavor with it.
Not at all. It takes on whatever you're putting with it.
Yeah, it's pretty mild, kind of like tofu is anyhow. I mean, even though you could use silken tofu also as a thickener, by the way. Evidently, I'm just going to spout them out randomly during this live, because there's a really long list that I'm making to put in the book. But so what you're straining out of the soybean milk, so the soybeans have been cooked, you've strained out this pulp or Okara, and it's mostly fiber. So the fiber helps make sure your mixture doesn't freeze hard. Like, we can't put ice. I can't put water in a pint, and well, I can, but I will break my machine. 100% will break my machine. So when we're doing whole food plant-based pints, we're kind of gaming the system a little bit. Because normally, and if you look at the Ninja Creami recipes, they're putting in coconut milk, they're putting in, you know, cane sugar. These are things that help a mixture not freeze quite as solid. However, if we introduce fiber, and fiber can be in the form of dates, you know, 1/4 to 1/2 cup of dates will also keep that well, you know, not freezing up so tight. Or Okara, or oatmeal, or tofu. Tofu and the Okara introduces less natural fat than maybe tofu would, because I think more fat ends up in the milk, which makes the tofu. But I'm not a food scientist, so look it up if you need to know, right? I'm guesstimating. So it really is the creaminess, and it lets you get a beautiful texture.
It's very nice.
Oh, Kimberly says, she's talked 4 of her friends into a Ninja Creami. That
awesome.
Is me. I've talked to so many like vegan content creators, like Kim Campbell. I talked her into getting one. Vicky Bratt-Gach. I'm always like, no. They're like, no. And I'm like,
no, you
just
need this.
Try once. Because I don't try to talk you guys into, I show you all the appliances that I get. And here's the thing, if you don't like frozen treats that are whole food plant-based, this is not for you, right? If you don't like anything cold, don't buy this. Same thing with other appliances. Everything isn't for everybody. But this one's pretty close. I haven't found many people who it's not for, especially in the whole food plant-based community. Mm-hmm. So why I like the Ninja Creami over like the Cuisinart, you put it in the freezer, the thing, and spin it, or we even had one that had a compressor, is that without the oil, without the fat and the sugar, the mixture, once you put it into the freezer, freezes hard as a rock. So you have to pull it back out, wait a really long time until you can sort of scoop it, but it's never quite right again. And this is kind of the exact opposite. It's frozen in a solid block when you pull it out. This, you know, grinds it down. We work on it. We make it all nice and creamy and everything. So how is it different? That every time I'm going to spin this and it's going to come out the consistency that I want it to. Yep. So that's why I personally really believe that the Ninja Creami is such a game changer for whole food plant-based ice creams, just because of that. Chef AJ was making banana nice cream with her Champion juicer and for years, and she likes this better. You may not, and that's okay too. So just so you know, I feel like it's really nice and it's super treaty to scoop out some ice cream that looks like Breyer's ice cream used to.
Yeah, or like if you go buy vegan ice cream at the store, you're going to get a bunch of junk in it that you don't really want. And then also, it's going to be not as creamy. Like, usually by the time you get it home and it's just, you know, some of them come out really chunky and they don't always come out real soft.
I just think they're too expensive and they have sugar and oil in it. If you're and most of the people who are looking at my stuff are looking to avoid sugar and oil. And that's not, again, and to be very clear in case you're new to me, what you eat is your business. Who you follow and the eating plan you follow is not my business. I'm just telling you what this stuff does. So if you choose to have protein powders or use vanilla pudding or coconut milk or any of those things, that's fine, but it's just not in my book, right? So no food judgment here. That's the rule of hanging out with Kathy on lives. You know, everybody gets to do what they want. And Miss Terry, I think I told you about the peach bitters, so if you didn't feel good about that, let me know. And Tanya says she likes the idea of having both the original and deluxe ingredients on the same page. It's a little page, so I'm going to see what I can do. So I haven't gotten to the design stage yet. Oh, Joanne says I got your book 1 and made some with my new Creami and I'm in love. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. The old book, I did things a little bit different, though both methods are great. So I made an oat cream. So basically it's just a thicker oat milk to use, and then also sometimes we'll add a couple of tablespoons of Joy or nut butter if you want to make it richer. With this one I'm kind of flipping it, and there will be a couple of recipes, and I think it may be 3 that might have nuts in it. Might be a little bit more, like one is maple walnut, one is butter pecan. Jill Dalton's putting her recipe in the book. You know, so there'll be some things like that, but we will talk about adding nuts as a thickener if that's something that you use. And let's see what else we've got. Aw, Annie, thanks. I'm glad you were able to join. Here we go. Question. I am a person who loves half and half and Annie Sweetener and my strong, and Sweetener. Got it. Sorry. In my strong coffee, what plant milk can I use to duplicate this in any? Do you mean inside your coffee, right? Not inside a Creamy pint? I would use, well, honestly, what I would use is like really thick soy milk. Soy milk doesn't break apart as much. It's not that you can't use almond milk. It would help me to know a little bit more about what your personal eating guidelines are. And if you can have nuts, I make soy milk in the Miomat, and I make it with a half a cup of soybeans soaked in 5 cups of water. And that comes out really pretty rich and thick, and that would work quite well. I have some creamer recipes on healthyslowcooking.com, so that might help a little bit. And if you guys have more questions about the Miomat, I can show you that. If you decide to get it, use Kathy Hester and you'll get $20 off. But Like, you would not believe how much soy milk and almond milk I'm making right now every
It's
other
crazy.
day.
You know, usually I complain because I'm like, oh, I don't have any milk to make something with. I have not had a bit of milk dryness in this house at all.
But because, like, I'm making 10 pints at a time, so I'm just going through it. So, Karask, let me know if that helped at all. Hey, Betsy. Oh, yes, and that's a really good thing. I just bought 4 more containers and have several in the freezer. I do find once you've gotten the Ninja Creami bug, it can be helpful to have extra pints. There are knockoff pints now on Amazon, and I've tried 2 versions of them, and they've worked fine. I haven't had any that are alarming. So if you guys have had any negative experiences with any of the knockoffs, email me at kathyhester@gmail.com so I can put up a note about them and warn other people. Oh, Sweet Cake, thank you so much. Can't wait for the new book. Nice. Linda made a tad savory creamy using a can of black beans, rinsed well, soy milk, and 6 dates. You could have added some chocolate in there too, kind of like we make black bean brownies. That would work. Mm-hmm. And you can use beans in place of these other thickeners. I'm just making up my own language about this and calling them whole food plant-based thickeners. Because if you go into the regular creamy groups, you see people using xanthan gum and Terra gum and Gar gum and a lot of things. And I feel like I'm getting pretty awesome results without using any of that. If you like your results using those, I'm not telling you not to, though. Brenda says, I have 6 empty pints I need to fill. Perfect timing. Excellent. Oh, that's awesome. Vi is considering buying a Ninja Creami. And what I would say, if you're buying a Ninja Creami, a couple things that you might look into. See how many pints you're getting with it. So at QVC, you get 4 pints. I think at Costco, it's 3 or 4 pints. At Sam's Club, it's 3 or 4 pints. I think Costco has the deluxe right now. And Sam's Club has the original. There is one called the Breeze that seems to be not made anymore. I have all 3. So if you have some questions about the Breeze, because you have one, you can put it in the comments. If not, don't worry about it. But that's why I'm not really talking about it, because you can't really get it. If you get it at Costco, something goes wrong, you can get your money back very easily. In fact, we just did that with our ice maker. You can probably hear the hum of our interim ice maker. And I forgot we bought it at Costco. And Cheryl was trying to fix it because it was making a loud squeal. And so literally we just put all the pieces and parts, and they looked it up and they refunded my credit card. And so on the way home, I ordered another one from Costco.com. Mm-hmm. So with small appliances, it's a great thing. It's a great place to get a Vitamix or a Blendtec, something like that. So even if you're just a little unsure, you could buy it there. It's usually a little cheaper. I think it's $1.99 at Costco right now. And you get 4 pints. Yeah,
I was going to say, most of the times if you get it someplace like Costco, you always get like a little bonus that you don't get normally. So with the creamies, it's usually extra pints and things.
Okay, and Vi was saying her name rhymes with pie. Did I say Vi to begin with or something else?
I think you did.
Okay. I know I'm far behind the comments, so you guys are probably, oh, Boston Vegan Bean, it's good to see you in your puppy photo. Excited for the book drop. Me too. Deb says, I found a blueberry matcha, and actually there's a blueberry matcha at healthyslowcooking.com. If you go to healthyslowcooking.com and you look at the top, there's Ninja Creami. If you click it, I have tons of troubleshooting articles there. So like, why is my install light blinking? Why do I have an ice wall? What can I do when it's crumbly? So that's a really good resource. And I think there's about 7 recipes there right now. Also on my YouTube channel, there's a lot of demos and things like that. So hopefully that happens. Yeah, the raspberry matcha is going to be a creamy chino in the new book, whereas blueberry matcha was a flavor of ice cream. And you know what? you could make any ice cream into a creamy-chino / milkshake, right? And that's basically what we do with it. Oh, I like this. Monique says, I've made some interesting flavors by combining leftovers together when there isn't quite enough of one flavor to spend. I like that idea. Not
whole food plant-based.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Will you Google that? Yeah. Google Coke Ninja Creami and see what happens. Now, one thing I will say is I do have a non-alcoholic beer ice cream in the new book. Athletic Brewing, and I guess it's a 0.5% because Athletic isn't completely zero proof like the zero proof rums and stuff. So I had a lemon raspberry radler, which was so sour I couldn't drink it, but I made it into a creamy pint, and it's brilliant ice cream. You could use Guinness is vegan now, so you could use a Guinness, something like that. And so I did successfully do that. It's not the same level of carbonation. Oh,
somebody's
here. It's in the test kitchen. Here, wait. Go down here. Click on that. Click on that one. So the Ninja Test Kitchen, which is the Ninja brand thing, is using cola. So yes. So there you go. And actually, will you put that link into there and say about cola so they'll...
This one?
Yeah. So it's actually like a rum and Coke, and it has maraschino cherries. So you guys, this is going in the chat. This is not me telling all of you guys to have a Coke or maraschino cherries. It's to answer this one question and say to answer the cola question. You know where you're going?
I do.
Okay.
Once I got past all your weird shortcuts.
They're not weird. So, marriage, it's a fruit basket of goodness. Oh, good. And Kitty Mommy was saying, thanks for your recent post on the Ninja Creami Facebook group. Yeah. And the thing is again, if you're wanting to find recipes with protein powder or use some other ingredients, maybe use a lot of coconut milk, the vegan group is just probably where you're going to get better responses. So, and you know what? You can be in both groups. I am. So, and I'd love to see them grow and get supported more. Orange sweet potato. Okay. Oh, I can only find orange was about orange sweet potato. Look at me pulling that together, like I'm a grown up. I was like that. That's how I'm feeling right now. That was a big win for the day. I have trouble finding them too. So if you go to H-Mart, Asian markets, you will find Korean or Japanese sweet potatoes. They're red on the outside, but they are yellowish white on the inside. When you bake them, it makes your whole house smell like vanilla cake.
It does. Those are the ones that you walk around I
do, and they make the ice cream amazing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about white sweet potatoes versus orange sweet potatoes for the pints. The orange sweet potatoes do lend a flavor, similar to the way bananas lend a flavor to the ice cream. So that's why I feel like it's better. Like I've done a sweet potato casserole that was great, but I tried orange sweet potato chocolate and Cheryl wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
And it feels hot in here.
It does.
I'm gonna
turn this machine off too.
Okay. Well, okay.
Y'all hear how loud this thing is? It makes me crazy.
Sorry. This is what lives are like. They're exciting and fun. Okay, great. And you got that. So I would look at an Asian market near you. You can order some online. I got some at the farmer's market, but in North Carolina, they seem to be a spring thing. And sometimes they show up at Whole Foods. But the Korean sweet potatoes are delightful. So hopefully that helps.
What if those ones you bought 2 big boxes of at the farmer's market?
Yeah, they had
like a vein on them.
They had an old-timey one. I showed this in a video too. They were really weird. He said it was an heirloom white sweet potato, and you had to bake them or they wouldn't be sweet. The veins on them
is where all the sugary taste was in these veins on it, and if you didn't bake it, it couldn't absorb the sugar. It was weird.
And this is making me crazy.
Still have one? No.
No,
They're all gone.
no, they're all frozen. I'm sorry, I just can't.
It's making her nuts.
It's making me really nuts. Where are we? How's that?
You really just kind of wobbled it sideways. It didn't really move. You want it to go back?
No, it's not going to get any more of that. Okay, but at least now it's straight.
Oh, you talking about this line?
Yeah. I'm working hard. The OCD is big. Okay.
Quiet.
Yeah, that's nice. Veg vanilla ice cream flavor is my recommendation for protein powder. Okay, awesome. And you guys are more than welcome in here. Just don't talk about it on the Whole Food Plant-Based Facebook group. Mm-hmm. Go talk about that on the vegan Facebook group. But asking these questions here is fine.
Yeah.
It's
a
not
no judgment zone.
Absolutely. Betsy said, do you have a recommendation extracts added? I'm finding that as I test, the extracts make a big difference. They do. I use a lot of Frontier brand and Savory Spice. I'm looking at some other brands on Amazon, but those are two I use a lot, right?
Frontier?
Yeah, this is the Frontier one.
This is Flavor Organics.
That I got it. I got it at TJ Maxx. So here we go. And let's pull this in a little bit. Okay, so this is just a generic one. I like this one pretty good, but some of these are going to have more alcohol. You can get alcohol-free ones. This is an alcohol-free lemon one from Frontier. So just know that too. There are a lot of these like weird flavors, and I have some of them that I've used before, but they're going to have ingredients that aren't necessarily whole food plant-based. There is a princess cake like bakery emulsion that is delicious, but it's got stuff in it that wouldn't make the cut to be in the book.
Some of the doTERRAs are edible.
Very good point. And in fact, Elizabeth is from the Chapel Hill Plant-Based Pod. She's going to be trying one of mine with mint. So there's mint drops, lemon drops. I don't know what else.
Can't remember.
But yeah, and I know someone else, actually a tester, is saying they're going to try the doTERRA mint drops as well. Oh, Victoria, send me an email, or you've got my messenger. Just message me, and we can talk about that for sure. And Lori's saying, if you dehydrate the Okara, would you consider that a protein powder? I don't know, because I don't really consider protein powders. Yeah. So I don't know how much protein is left in after that. There has to be some. The whole food plant-based protein powders, like I was just saying, Complement, and I think there's something Earth Chimp, have two that don't have like soy protein isolate, pea protein isolate. They just have pea protein. They have, whole foods that have been powdered. People have feelings about that. I'm not telling you what to feel. But those are some ones that you might look at. I know you could kind of make things higher protein if that's something you want, by adding some tofu. Some silken tofu is great to add to a pint as well.
Yeah, like you would use it for like making a mousse or something, so why not?
It works awesome like that. And Tanya's saying, would any type of nut milk pulp work like the Okara? It will work. I think the Okara works better. And that's just me, because I've been using almond milk pulp as well. When you're not skinning the almonds, you're going to get some color that you have to think about a little bit. Okara is just white already. It just blends in. But yeah, I'm including that as one of my choices. It is not in my personal top 2, but it works great. And also with the Okara and the nut milk, and hey, it's kind of nice to make your own plant milk because you don't ever have to run to the store. You don't have to get rid of all those cartons. it's a lot less waste. And then you have this byproduct of pulp that you can use in your Ninja Creamies. You can use it in burgers, veggie burgers or different things like that too. Probably next year, I'm probably going to do a milk and milk pulp cookbook, but I got other plans before then. So I have no idea. It could be the end of next year. CJ said, I found zucchini went well as a base when combined with a 1/4 cup of white beans. That is awesome. And so what's happening is because the zucchini still adds that fiber and thickness, but it does add some more water. Adding those beans kind of still gives it that extra thickness, which is great. Betsy says, my family's constantly choosing the Japanese sweet potato made creamy concoctions versus Okara. I do think what the sweet potatoes bring to the table is a little bit of vanilla flavor and a little bit of sweetness. And Okara is just kind of plain.
I don't know that I can tell the difference unless you tell me, honestly.
You usually can't. I can tell a little bit.
You can tell, but I can't.
And so it just depends. But I like both of them.
But I can definitely tell if it's got bananas in it. I don't care how much you try to cover up those bananas. I can taste those bananas.
I know you're on team bad bananas. Robin's saying that's why
they have their place in some things.
They do. Well, see, I also love banana ice cream. Robin says that's why I have half pints I'm testing for you. I love using the white sweet potato. And Mona says I just love workarounds, and I feel you. Oh, great question. I was waiting for this. I feel like I planted you in the audience, Ryan. Can you freeze Okara to use later in ice cream and other things? Yes, you can. And I found these cheaper
I wondered
knockoffs.
what those were.
Yeah. Cheryl was moving away. I'm like, no, this is for show and tell. So these, super cubes are expensive. These are super cube knockoffs. And they're not as strong, but they're pretty good.
I don't know.
It's still got a metal.
They still have a nice
metal
strong,
around there.
Strong lid on our
these
rim.
And these are. It's got a marking in here. It's a cup each, but it has a half cup mark. So I did this with the white sweet potatoes too because I bought 2 cases because they're seasonal. So I cooked them all up. I mashed it and I put them in here, and then I have the blocks frozen. So you could have one of these in your freezer and fill it up to half cup because it's about a half cup of these whole food plant-based thickeners that I'm adding per pint in general. So like if you were doing like what CJ was doing, you could have a 1/4 cup. You could get a smaller one. And then I freeze it, pop it out, put it in bags. So I have downstairs and upstairs Okara, nut milk pulp, and white sweet potatoes. So let's say for some reason you're having a big to-do and you're making a bunch of soy milk, and it makes about a cup of Okara with the strainer I'm using per batch. So if I had a week, like now, because I'm using it for the Ninja Creami, I'm just putting that pulp right back into a pint. But if I wasn't and it was during the winter, I could freeze all that up for later, if that makes sense. Hey, Apple, it's good to see you. The corn butter isn't in this book because this is only Ninja Creami recipes. So it's all frozen treats, but there is a corn ice cream. So I'm making an Atole ice cream, and Atole is a warm corn cinnamon drink. But we're making corn cinnamon ice cream, and
it was very tasty.
It's really, really good. So, and one of the things too, as you're making these, hey Alyssa, it's good to see you. As you're making these, so we're going to make the pints. I've been blending it up in my little Beast blender. Taste it. Some of the sweetness will go away as it's frozen. So if you need it to be a little sweeter, and you're using dates, go ahead and add another date. You'll kind of it'll take a couple of times of you making these, and then you'll kind of be in the groove of how sweet it needs to be for you and your family. And just kind of, you'll get that little rhythm going. SFOS says, I always try to go to grocery stores when I travel. I know, right? Isn't the best? You know, I've not tried dried potato flakes as a thickener, and if you were going to use them, I would think you would need to reconstitute them because you're not going to know how thick the mixture is. I don't know. I haven't used it, and I haven't used potatoes, like not sweet potatoes, but like potatoes. But that could work, or it could get gummy because we need to blend it all together before we put it in the pint. Tanya says, ooh, would any tofu work? I think it would. Yeah, Vitamix first. Yeah, if you blend it in, any tofu should work. If it's not pressed, silken tofu is just beautiful in mousses, and this would be like kind of making a frozen custard. Karen is saying, is the new whole food plant-based Ninja Creami ebook 2 included in Kathy's cooking club? No, it is separate. So it's not included in anything at this point. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, and Tanya was talking about the potato flakes, it might be gummy, and it could. It could be really gummy. All right, Nancy, this is not a crazy question. Does everything have to be frozen overnight? Can I make a coffee concoction without having to freeze it first rock solid? So it does have to freeze rock solid. It has, so like, again, if we're looking at these pints, this center point here, halfway down and halfway in, needs to be frozen solid. That's how the machine is made to work. And so we want to be as easy, we're already kind of making this machine work really, really hard. Now, does it have to freeze 24 hours? Depends on how cold your freezer is. So oftentimes I can freeze it 12 hours. In the freezer downstairs, I can freeze it 12 hours. This one, it might not be frozen enough. So you can try it, but again, we want to make, because like what happens when we pick light ice cream and sorbet, which we typically use as settings on either machine, because our mixtures are very solid and frozen. So it means the blade spins faster and the rod comes down slower. So that's the difference between light ice cream and ice cream. Ice cream, it's going to come down faster. But if it comes down too fast, it's going to break down the machine if the mixture is too hard. All right. Daphne says, I'm going to need more pint containers by the time your book drops. 6 is not enough. And you guys don't need the amount I have. I need this amount if I want to do a book in the time that I allot myself, because normal people don't need to have 30 pints in their freezer, and we're going to be eating on it all summer long. So I'm thinking of this as my ice cream prep time. But it is nice.
Normal people don't try to knock out books in the amount of time that you do.
Well, I just get excited. Take advantage of the excited hyper-focus. That is my motto, right? Yes. Well, my real motto is use your neurosis for the power of good. That's how it translates for me in a book.
Or use your ADHD for the power of good.
Exactly. Joanne, this is not a silly question. Do you need a machine to make soy milk in order to get Okara? No. You can cook the beans in a pot and you filter them out that way, and it's still Okara. You can't buy Okara anywhere. You could go to a local Asian market if there's someone who sells, a lot of times, I think it's Grand Asia, they sell fresh soy milk every weekend. So you could go and talk to the person who made fresh soy milk and see if they would sell you some Okara. I've not done that.
Be an interesting ask.
Yeah, I've recommended that before, so if anybody does it, tell me if they look at you weird or something. Tanya wonders if you could blend ingredients you'd use in overnight oats, then freeze and spin. Yeah, in the smoothie bowls that I did for ebook 1, it was very similar. So I use rolled oats to make the milk. You don't have to strain it out, or put bananas, different things like that. You just want to make sure. I find that half a cup is with these thickeners is perfect. It's not stodgy. It's not too thin. When I was trying my first pumpkin spice ice cream, I used way too much pumpkin. And basically then it just tastes like frozen, stodgy, not niceness. So that would be the thing. Just make sure maybe you need a little extra non-dairy milk than you would do in a regular overnight oat, because you don't want it to be quite as thick as that. You want it to be a little more smoothie consistency, if that helps. Oh, Catherine says she has a Champion juicer and likes the Ninja better. Or could you do it with a blended chia pudding? I have not tried that, so I don't know. If you try it, will you email me and let me know how that turns out? I would think the texture would be okay, but it depends on what your other ingredients are. Alrighty. Joanne says, I bought my daughter and son-in-law a Creamy Deluxe in March. Well, you are the nicest mother-in-law ever, except for mine. She sends me money to buy whatever gadget I want every year, so that's awesome. But not to say you're not awesome, Joanne. They got as far as taking out of the box and putting it on the counter. I might buy them the Creamy Experience. Yeah, and it's $49 right now. It's usually $97. So if you have any trouble getting that, you can email support@healthyslowcooking.com. You have to go through the link there. If you just go through another link, it might not be. The coupon code is in this link. If you go down to checkout, it says $97. It doesn't have a mark through and say $49. Email support@healthyslowcooking.com and Cheryl will sort you out.
Stop and do not pass go.
Jeremy, I think I'm going to see you tonight at there is a food truck. There is a naughty food truck coming.
Very naughty.
That I've been waiting 2 years to come here, so I'm going. And I don't know, what else will I confess during this live? Who knows? How exciting. I'm just kidding. Oh, absolutely. This is a great question. Is it Jackie or Jackie? I always get confused when I see alternative spelling. So whichever one it is, thank you for asking a question. Can you use your recipes in freeze and popsicle molds? Absolutely. No questions asked. It's going to work just fine. Also, if you don't have a Ninja Creami and you want to make some of the fun recipes you're going to see, you can freeze them in ice cube trays. And then you can pop them out, let them sit for about, depending on how hot your house is, 3 to 7 minutes, and then make nice cream in your Vitamix with it or use it in a food processor. It's not going to be exactly the same texture, but you will get the same flavors. Debbie, there are 2 different ways you can do soybeans. Well, actually, no, you'll always cook the soybeans to make that. You can soak the soybeans or not soak the soybeans if you're using a Chinese or a Japanese method. When I use the Mia mat, I'll just bring it over here. And actually, I gave Jeremy my other Mia mat, so I don't know if he's made much with it yet. So there's literally a soy milk button, and I click it, it cooks it, it blends it, and then all I have to do is strain it. So yes, you do always, all soy milk must be cooked to be able to use. You don't want to eat uncooked soybeans ever.
Get a big bad tummy ache.
Yeah, probably worse. Ooh, Joanne got 4 containers free on Facebook Marketplace. Nice. That is a good score.
Yes,
that's a great score. Oh, Hydran. Hydran has a, going back to the half and half substitutes, cashew nuts soaked in very hot water for 15 minutes and blended in the Vitamix. No straining. That's awesome. That's a great one. Thanks, Hydran. Yeah. And now that you're not busy, I am busy, and one day we will have a live and we will make Okara cream cheese together and show you how to do that. Yeah, and here's Ryan saying it depends on your milk maker. Mine heats them so I don't have to soak. So if you're going to make it in a milk maker like the Nutri-Milk or the Almond Cow, which doesn't have heat, and you want to make soy milk, you have to put cooked soybeans in there. So you have to cook your soybeans before you put it in a milk maker that doesn't have heat. That's why I like the Mia mat, because it's a one and done. Kimberly says I have the Ninja Creami bug. I feel like I have the Ninja Creami cicada excitement. Like
we've still got cicada noise.
They are everywhere. Like they are.
I'm just watching them fly around out there. Every time I'm like, oh, look at that tiny little bird, and I'm like,
I keep thinking the hummingbird's back, and I've done that. Like, probably, oh look, the humming. Oh wait, no, it's a cicada. So we are in the middle of cicada territory. Oh, Boston Vegan Bean, you were delightful. Waiting for this book to drop like my daughter for the Taylor Swift album. I think that's the best compliment I've ever gotten in my entire life. And Beverly says, thanks for your work helping us enjoy treats. Will this new book have measurements for both machines, one way or another?
And
yes.
And also I am working on the measurements for the original book as well. So
yeah, so that's going to come probably June. But yes, this book is going to have measurement for both machines. Also, don't forget, you can always if you make something for the original and the deluxe, it just comes up to the freeze fill. So you can still do that just fine too. So if you've got the deluxe because that's the one that was there and not because you need 3 cups of ice cream, that's a great way to do it. I have not tried teff as a thickener. So I'm assuming you're using cooked teff, but I have not. I've done cooked brown rice. I did have one tester who tried it and said her rice was pretty dry. So we're getting a few little things there. Yeah, Francine says cannellini beans work well as they're very neutral. Kombucha squash, yeah, those are both great. With beans, I tend to go for, and I just say white beans. So cannellini beans, navy beans, Great Northern beans, those all are in a neutral category and kind of the same category for me personally, or chickpeas. Chickpeas work really great too. And Tanya, for me, I would probably use about a half cup. Cooked teff is what she's doing. Or fonio, I don't know how to say. I've seen it, but I've not heard it said yet. And another grain that's from Africa, I believe. And I don't know, they could work. Also, one of the things I'm trying to do is have commonly leftover ingredients. So like leftover steel cut oats, that works too. Yeah. Oh, look, here we go.
Speaking of,
I didn't even see that. Could you spin cooked oatmeal? Yes, you can.
And it's lovely. It's one of my favorites.
It is. If you use too much, so like I started off doing it and I was doing like, I just throw whatever leftover oatmeal in the pint and cover it with, and then add a sweetener, some milk, obviously non-dairy milk and vanilla. And I wasn't blending it because it was just for us. So it could get a little weird. I think blended it's a lot better. Using only a half a cup is much better. Mm. Oh, and Mandy said we tried your blackberry lemon ice cream, which you can get on healthyslowcooking.com last night, and your family loved it. It's one of my favorites. Even you loved it.
Yeah, I like
and
that one. You
don't like blackberries, but you strain the blackberry seeds out, which makes it easier. I added more lemon juice and zest to taste and some blackberries and marionberries for blueberries and marionberries for blackberries because that's what I had.
Perfect.
Exactly. That is perfection because whenever I start to go, oh, I don't know if I can sub, then I'm like, your great grandma subbed everything because that's how dinner happened. So I love that. And the more you play with things and see what you have on hand, and that's why I'm going to have this list of whole food plant-based thickeners you can use. Like right now I'm making a lot of soy milk. In the winter I was making a lot of oatmeal. So it can vary on what you have on hand. Vi says, which is better, the deluxe or the original? Neither. Neither is better than the other.
What's your famous line? The one you can find.
Yeah, the one you can find is, right now you can get either. But I don't know when that's going to stop. The Ninja people are notorious for letting this sell out.
Yeah.
All the time. They'll have a sale and somebody buys 10 of them and they're gone for 2 months.
Yeah.
the deluxe holds 3 cups. Like there's a whole different interface, and there's a video that has that. You don't need to show that.
Oh, okay.
It's the same. They work exactly the same, but the deluxe is 3 cups. The original is 2 cups, and they call them both pints, which just makes me want to give them an angry librarian look. There are buttons for things like slushies and cremachinos and frozen drinks. You can make those in here. I'm telling you how in the book. Actually, there's videos that tell you how. You don't, so you can find that out. And we might even do one of those in a hot minute too, so you can kind of see. So if you have a larger family, then maybe the 3 cup is for you.
Did you want me to spin that around for you so they can see?
Not yet. Okay. I just don't want to get too much into the actual buttons unless there's a question. That is the only reason.
Gotcha.
But they work about the same. So I don't know that one's better, one's larger. But anything you can make it here. I mean, they have like a gelato setting, a sorbet setting. Basically, we're going to use light ice cream, sorbet, smoothie setting if you might have it. Maybe you don't, but light ice cream, sorbet, milkshake, and respin will get you everything you need. So just know that. Ooh. Which one is $179 with 3 pints? If that's the deluxe usually costs about $20 more because it is bigger. But sometimes they're the same price at places, so it's hard to know. And just know that one cherry cola thing was because somebody asked about cola. Mm-hmm. I did. Jeremy's going, all that salt and sugar. I know, I'm not. Oh yeah, adding decaf coffee beans as a mix-in. No.
We're not big coffee bean people.
And I don't know how I feel. I got a visceral feeling that I wouldn't like it. That doesn't mean I would crush them up some.
Yeah, I was going to say they might be too hard for that.
Because I think it might just be a bean. So if you're doing like chocolate covered beans, I think those are toasted again before they go in, but I'm not sure. But definitely make sure that you can put it in your mouth and crunch it before you put it in your pint. Because like if you put it in your mouth, you're like, I can't chew that. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work. Aw, I'm glad we were making you smile. We are silly. We are having fun, Miss Terry. And Sal Fergal says, I have 2 smoothies I've loved for years, and they've transitioned perfectly for the creamy. Yeah, almost any smoothie can be made in the creamy. And like, I think this one has a smoothie bowl setting. If you don't have a smoothie bowl setting, just use the sorbet or light ice cream. They both do about the same thing. Ryan says, I want to try the non-alcoholic ice cream. That sounds good. Athletics makes good non-alcoholic drinks. And yeah, there's lots of, we have a lot of the flavors of non-alcoholic beer because that's how they draw me. I'm in a subscription and I can only get this one, like the seasonal flavor if I'm on subscription. So we have way too much of the other one because we don't drink it that much. No.
But some of them are very clever.
Like there's a pumpkin one.
Wasn't there like a tropical flavored one?
Yeah, but like there's a blackberry wheat beer, and it's 0.5%. Actually, I think the wheat beer's over here. I can come show you guys. And with the beer ice cream, because Guinness ice cream is not a new thing. I didn't make it up on my own. But if you get some of these fruit flavors, it's just as nice, if not better, than some of the extracts that we're talking about. Let's see. So this is what we're talking about. There we go. You can see it there. And where's the, I think it's, that tells you, and it's got all the stuff there. And honestly, for what it is, it's fairly low calorie. Now, I don't know every single ingredient. Well, yeah, I do. Water, malted barley, wheat, blackberry puree, hops, and yeast. So I do know every ingredient that was in there.
And you can say them all, so.
And here's what they say. Near beer with blackberry contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume. And they do put vegan on the ones that are vegan. There are very few that are not vegan with them, but I think there's a couple that have lactose in them, but they're very clear about that. All right. Oh, Christina says purple sweet potato chocolate creamy ice cream is amazing. Ah, and one's on sale for Sam's Club for $1.19, which is probably the original. And I don't think one is better than the other. I have all three. And there's one thing I like about the one that they don't sell anymore, and I'm just not even going to talk about it because it's just going to make everybody sad. But I think they all work fine as long as you're paying attention to your mixture. If your mixture seems to be extra hard, let it sit out for 5 minutes. Be kind to it. And if something gets stuck, if something breaks, call customer support and they'll talk you through it. And SFS says my Costco in Maryland has 3 container deluxe for $1.80.
Okay.
And then you can always go, yeah, Terry,
I
saw that. Terry's talking about the a not safe for work photo of a potato, basically. Oh, and that's a great question. CJ saying, did you freeze the sweet potatoes whole or mashed? I mashed them, sort of. I scraped them out, so they were mostly mashed. I think Jeremy was saying he had put whole white sweet potatoes in his creamy concoctions, and you might be able to freeze them whole, but I just wanted to have measurements, so I actually filled it into the 1 cup block and took a knife and cut it so that I would be able to get half cups out in the winter if I want to. Okay. Aw, thank you so much. You guys make us happy.
Nancy, neighbor.
Yay. Hey, Nancy. How are you? What you making in your creamy? That's what I want to know. Okay, great. Oh, and Victoria says, I also have some of those bakery emulsions for fun to play around with, but there are some very iffy ingredients. Lots of propyl glycol or something. I'm not even going to bother getting them out because they're just going to upset some people. But there's also little vials of ice cream flavor that you can get too, but they also have more chemical ingredients. So if you can get things like doTERRA, edible essential oils, don't just go out to TJ Maxx and get some essential oils there. They have to be food quality, ingestible, so that's not everybody. Linda Peterson loves the athletic brewing. I'm glad that you guys are telling me that. I was a little nervous about putting that one in the book, thinking it might be too hard, but I'm glad. And Victoria uses Earth Chimp, and going back to the protein powders. They actually offered me some at some point. I'll have to go back and see if I can still get it to try it. Let's see. Debbie says, I love your new picture, Debbie.
It's cool.
I haven't tried it yet, but YouTuber Epic Mint Leaves shows you how to make protein powder yourself using just garbanzo beans. Yeah, there's tons of places you can find that. Linda Peterson says, I use an almond cow so the Okara would be raw. Is that okay? No. I would either cook it. What I would do is cook the beans, then put them in the almond cow. And then make the milk from there is probably what I would do. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do, I think. I've not done it yet. Or maybe you'd have to cook the Okara at some point. Mine is cooked when it comes out. So hopefully that helps. MPNM64 says, I have a latex allergy and bananas have a natural latex. So happy to hear that not every recipe has banana. No, and there'll be options. So right now, the only recipes that have banana are my guest authors. Some of them have bananas, and I'm going to offer alternatives for most of those as well. Betsy feels like the Okara ones have been a little icier. And it could, if you have more liquid, if your Okara is not as dry, it probably will be icier. The new strainer that I have, I've shown you guys before, but let me show you again. Oop. Where is my strainer? Must be in here. Oh, here we go. I'm like, that strainer better not be gone. So this is incredibly fine mesh. It's like 300 micron. So because of that, it strains out, and I just leave it set until the milk is cool and everything. So that is going to change things, just like any homemade stuff will. I got the Super Cube knockoffs on Amazon. And if you email me at kathyhester@gmail.com, I will find the link and send it to you. And it may be tomorrow when I send it to you, because we are supposed to go do something later today. Claire never liked bananas and always disappointed with nice cream. And definitely try subbing out white sweet potatoes, yellow sweet potatoes, white-ish sweet potatoes. Talking about Korean sweet potatoes. Hey, Shrinking Shadow, it's good to see you. Oh, and Holly in the chat has some DIY protein things. Cooking for Peanuts just posted a DIY protein powder. That's great. Late to the show, can you give me a brief summary of the book? Whole food plant-based Ninja Creami recipes.
Maybe we should show some
Yeah, we'll
stuff.
show some pictures and stuff now. Sorry, we're all right. So, but basically, almost all of the recipes use a whole food plant-based sweetener. Some of them do use maple syrup. You could use date syrup or date paste in place of it. So we're not using any protein powders or fillers. We're using whole food, plant-based, real foods as thickeners for them. And let's look at some pictures from the book. How about that? So let's see. Here we go. And let me see if I can move some of this around so I can, oh, nope, I can't, because it's moving it around for you too. Here we go. All right, so this, let's start at the very beginning. This isn't all of it. So that is one of my cremicinos. That's a chocolate cremicino mocha that I made for Cheryl.
Cheryl approved.
Cheryl approved. This is a chai cremicino. So I use chai in there too. And it gets really nice and thick, but you can make it thinner than this, both with all of these. So for pictures, for it to last long enough for me to have a picture, it needs to be pretty solid. I have one that's a little melty that I'll show you. I used this cinnamon apple spice tea in here. So it's, and applesauce, and it's sweetened with applesauce. You don't have to use the Celestial Seasoning cinnamon apple spice tea. If you found another apple spice tea you like, this one's herbal, so there's no caffeine or anything like that. It's also sweetened with applesauce. And I found in some of these, when we sweeten with applesauce, adding some lemon zest or lemon juice can help take away some of the apple flavor. All right. This is the melty apple crisp cremicino,
which is also very Cheryl approved.
And so this was my take on Starbucks, or my copycat of Starbucks apple crisp frappuccino or drinks that they had this past winter. Mm-hmm. It is also, I believe, sweetened with applesauce. Without seeing all these, I've been writing down so many recipes, I may get some of these confused. And let me just check really quick on the comments. Well, actually, you check on the comments, because go all the way down to the bottom in case somebody asks a question about one of these.
Okay, I'll watch for that.
And then we're still going to come back and answer more questions, but I did promise you a sneak peek.
Apple wants to know if the apple cremicino is named after.
Of course it's named after you, Miss Apple. And it's really, really good.
It really is.
So those are gone. That's all I have to say. Okay, and then I have a blood orange sherbet. And this could be a regular orange sherbet or a kumquat sherbet or, I don't know, whatever citrus thing you want to do. I had some blood oranges and I thought, hey, that'll make a good picture. This is the blueberry cremicino that Cheryl was drinking earlier.
Very delicious.
And again, you could use Ticino in there. You could use decaf. You could honestly sub extra milk for the coffee and just make it into a blueberry shake. And that would be fine too.
I would also just eat that with a spoon like an ice cream. It's so good.
And with the drinks, before you add additional liquid, you could have that as a pint. So you could have that mocha chocolate ice or mocha coffee ice cream. I'm saying all the words that mocha means for some reason over and over again. So mocha coffee, mocha chocolate. I feel like cha-cha-cha. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Karen says your photos are so artistic and look amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. They may get edited a little more. I'm only showing you the ones that at least have gotten preliminary edits. This one, I will tell you, is a little icy, and it's because it's a prickly pear sorbet I made last year. Or prickly pear, I can't remember if it's sorbet or ice cream. It might be ice cream. But I made it last year. Yours won't be quite so icy. Also, prickly pears are not in season right now.
Yeah.
So that's that one. This one is just a coffee one showing one of my favorite mugs. That's why I like taking pictures. And look, we got that octopus vase when we were at Disney.
Yep.
But this mug I got when the pandemic was happening. I got one for me and for my friend Dawn, and it says something about like being alone together. It was during the lockdown, but also look, there's a dog, a woman in a bathing suit, and a cute octopus, so it deserved a place. This is my corn cinnamon ice cream.
It's delicious.
And I know there's some of these you're going to be like, no, but trust me, corn is sweet and yummy and great in desserts. It just really, really is. This is my cinnamon ice cream
that one's really good.
The
too.
testers have been raving about it. So a lot of people are like, I don't like cinnamon, but I'm going to make this anyhow, and liked it. So it's really quite good. Then this one is kind of a funny one. It's not real wine. It's faux red wine. And so what it is, it has lapsang tea, which is a smoked black tea, and tart cherry juice and pears. And the smokiness with the layers of the fruit makes it taste a lot like wine. Mm-hmm. Does it taste like $1,000 bottle of wine? Of course not. Plus you just froze it. But it's kind of a fun way to kind of have, you know, a frosé or a kind of thing like that without actually imbibing anything. And I just think those things are fun. This is my horchata ice cream. So horchata is like rice and cinnamon and almonds. And so I used brown rice as my whole food plant-based thickener in it. This is my lemon Italian ice, and it's just sweetened just with pears.
It's very good.
Yeah. The thing is these, if you're doing a cookbook, I've got to do something that's a little more wow factor. There is strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate in there too, but to help give you ideas of different things to try, and you could make different sorbets, Italian ices. This one is one of my favorites. It's crazy. We're working a little bit on just how much mint extract, but this is green pea mint, people.
And don't turn up your nose on it. Don't like think, oh God, no, I can't do peas, because once those peas are frozen in this concoction with the mint, you really do not taste like a heavy pea taste at all.
And the thing is peas are one of the vegetables that Cheryl actually loves. Mm-hmm. And peas are one of the vegetables I don't care for. I don't like it because I don't like the way they pop and sort stuff out. I don't like cherry tomatoes, but they just...
So, and as much as I like peas, my mind doesn't go to, ooh, I think that would be good in a creamy pint, but it works, y'all. And then you mix those little teeny tiny, as a mix-in, we put
chocolate
the
chips.
teeny tiny, what are they, what brand is that?
Well, they used to have them at Trader Joe's, but they're the chocolate chips that are made with cocoa that don't have any oil. So you can go buy them somewhere, but
it just gives it that little bit. To me, I like a little crunch in my.
You could also
ice cream
take
stuff.
an unsweetened chocolate bar and with a knife shave it a little bit, and then put some of those in there if you can't find the other.
But it was amazing. Like I really liked that one a lot. Way more than I thought I would.
Okay, let's see, where am I? There I am. And this one I'm super excited about. Okay, Disney mugs. Disney. So I think we got this one from
that was from the Polynesian.
The Polynesian, and then this we got at Trader Sam's, and so that little bulb lights up. It's the Ursula mug. Yeah. So I figure you're here, maybe you'll geek out. This is pina colada ice cream, and you're going, oh, collective gasp. There is no coconut in here. So we're using coconut extract, and we're using a pineapple as the thickener, as part of the sweetener and the flavor. So it's really nice. But it is a whole food, plant-based, no oil, no coconut pina colada ice cream, and it's really good. Quite good. Yeah.
And y'all got to remember, I'm a chocolate person, and I usually won't have any kind of ice cream that is not chocolate or that I cannot put chocolate on. But I have been totally digging all the ones that aren't chocolate lately.
It's true, because the thing is, I don't hate chocolate or anything. It's just, to me, our chocolate diverges. She wants plain chocolate. I want chocolate and orange, chocolate and raspberry, chocolate and almond. Chocolate.
It's not chocolate anymore when you do that.
Yeah, so that's why they're not a whole lot. But you can take chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and do some mix-ins to make different flavors, or change out extracts and things like that. Okay, so here's my really weird one. You thought you saw a weird one?
We have a question.
Okay.
How many pages is the book, and do you have any low-calorie ones? Also, do you have advice in the book to add plant-based protein?
Okay, there will be no protein powders addressed in the book because it's a whole food plant-based book. You can put beans or tofu, things like that we talked about earlier. The book doesn't exist yet, so I don't know how many pages it is. I am writing it now. That's why you can pre-order the book. It doesn't exist. But there's going to be at least 40 recipes from what I have right now. And did I miss any? And I'm not doing any calorie counts on these because it's going to depend on what milk you use, what thickener you choose, what sweetener you use, how much you sweeten it. So what I would encourage you is to go, I'm not really doing a lot of times people have 100 calorie pints or 200 calorie pints, and usually in whole food plant-based world, we're not counting calories. But you can easily put whatever you're using into a program, and if you're counting calories, you probably already have a program, and then that way you know exactly what you're using. Because almond milk made at home may have different calories and nutritional information than the Almond Breeze one. So that's something else. So it can get real nitty gritty, and that's why I'm not putting calories on this. Because also I'm giving you 17 sweeteners. No, do whatever you want. So as we're mixing and matching it, it's going to change it drastically.
So Tanya is asking, do you have a tiger tail recipe?
I don't. I am working on a licorice recipe. So far, it's not done well. And Apple, I know you told me how you were making licorice, and I need to actually email you today or tomorrow and ask you about that. So it's orange with licorice. And so,
oh, really?
Yeah, so I have orange, but I don't have licorice yet. So that's why I don't have a tiger's tail. Okay, you ready for so far this is the weirdest one, and I love it. This is cilantro jalapeno margarita. It's pineapple too. It's got pineapple margarita in there too, I think.
Yeah, it's pineapple one.
Yeah, I really like it. It's hard to find jalapenos that are actually really spicy, so this wasn't too spicy for you.
No, not at all.
She's just not a cilantro fan. If cilantro is the only thing that scares you about this, you can leave the cilantro out. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to get something there. Now this is Cheryl's favorite, which is plain chocolate.
Plain good old chocolate.
And I think I used either Okara or sweet potatoes, and that's why this scoop came out so nice and thick, really. All right, and again, I only have about 24 of the pictures now. I have like 18 pictures to take, and I can do about 6, 7 a day if I'm on a roll, because I have to change everything out.
And you got to spin everything.
I have to spin everything. I have to clean everything. I have to match all the stuff. Like a picture like this was easy, but then like this one, I would look out for I'd have a pile of plates to find the colors that match and stuff. This is the Athletic Brewing, and I'm going to say you could also make this into a float or a shake, because I wanted to use my Athletic Brewing cup that came with my fancy membership. But that's the Raspberry Lemon Radler that's over there. Then I have strawberry, and those are some little strawberries that were growing in our yard.
I think you might have missed some.
What do you mean?
You missed some pictures.
Why are you saying, what pictures did I?
Oh,
I did, didn't I?
2 right there.
Okay. That is the raspberry matcha creamy chino. It doesn't look green. There you go. I did another one. It didn't look red either. So it just kind of looked brown, but it tastes so good. I updated this recipe a little bit and put more raspberries in it, and it's delightful. So like a container of fresh raspberries, or you could use frozen raspberries, of course. I did. And this is my raspberry sherbet.
It's good.
It's really good. So it reminds me of being a kid.
Yeah.
It's that kind of good.
Yeah.
And so some people spell it sherbet. In the South, we say sherbet. And you will see it spelled sherbet. Even the dictionary kind of says commonly spelled as this, but sometimes spelled the way I do it. So those of you who are like, why does she keep saying sherbet, and why does she spell it that way? That
reminds me of going to Grandma's house, and she only has the stuff in the freezer that she likes, and so you're always like, and then you end up having some of it because that's like your only choice, and then you're like, ooh, this is really good.
Yeah, I loved sherbet, and in the first ebook I had a lime sherbet that was really good, but I think I have the blood orange sherbet in this one. And you can change out the berries, you can change out the different flavors and stuff. Yeah, I did miss, I'll save that one for last. I'll go backwards now. This is my wedding cake ice cream. And wedding cake is a snowball flavor in New Orleans that's vanilla and almond. And so it's really delightful. So it has some almond extract and vanilla extract in it. That would be a great one to use for almond pulp to get a little extra almond flavor in there. This is my vanilla. And I think your mom gave us that.
That's one of my mom's.
That's why I wanted to use it. So Cheryl's, half of her background is Polish, and her mom collects Polish pottery and gave us some. And so that's that. And those are the vanilla beans that I hoard like a dragon. So I take them out for pictures, and every once in a while something's good enough for it. But if you have a good vanilla, and I think this is the very best vanilla I've made, the very easiest vanilla. It works great with white sweet potatoes. It would work great with tofu. It works great with so many things. You could do a zucchini cauliflower, but again, my 2 favorites are Okara and sweet potato. This is my sweet tea sorbet, and
good.
You guys are probably going, oh, she said there was no sugar in that book. And there's not. It's pear sweetened. So it doesn't taste exactly like that. If I was serving it to non-whole food plant-based friends, I would make it this way, but when I spin it, I would spin a little bit of simple syrup in it to give them that flavor. But you could use any tea in this. You don't have to use a caffeined tea. I think I used Lipton tea, which is how we make Southern sweet tea. But what I love and what I've been doing a lot of this book is doing different teas. Like we have a blackberry herbal tea. There's so many herbal teas that have been probably sitting in your shelves as long as they've sitting on mine. And you can make something delightful with them. Think of using those as flavor options as well. And my favorite picture, my smoky date caramel vanilla. And this is actually my personal favorite of all of this.
What was the one next to it?
This one?
Yeah.
That's the strawberry one I showed.
Oh, okay.
So this has the lapsang tea. It has dates that's being sweetened. So it's basically the vanilla ice cream with some tea added into it. I think there's a chipmunk.
Yep.
I don't think so here, we'll go back to the camera now and I will, you guys, so here we go. So those are the pictures. Let me tell you the chipmunk story and then I'll look and see if we have more questions.
Come on.
So,
Leave
Fergus brought a chipmunk in. We don't know if it's the same one that was
Let's go
trying
this
to
way.
live in our house in the winter.
Come on. Go.
Did he get it?
No.
Okay. We have a trap out, a humane trap out for the chipmunk. But Fergus, I think, brought it in, and I think maybe it's the same one, and it just really wants to live with us. And the animals don't usually do anything, but it must have run across because that was Max knocking into some stuff. Yeah. So, all right, I am going to now go to the bottom and come up to the top.
It's okay, buddy.
Jill is here from Spain. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Gina. I'm glad you guys like the photos. I really try to work hard to make them interesting and appetizing, and it's fun for me to do. It was about time for me to do that. Oh, Gina says, oh no, I just got home. I'll have to catch the replay. Oh, you just got one as a gift. Yay, you're going to love it. And maybe go ahead and put in these top two. Actually, just copy all that and put it in there. So I'm going to, in the comments right now, we're going to put in the link where you can get the Ninja Creami experience, which includes book 1, does not include book 2. It's on sale for $49. How to get pre-order book 2, which drops May 31st. And the 2 vegan Ninja Creami group and a whole food plant-based Ninja Creami group on Facebook. Yes, buddy, we know there's a chipmunk. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it won't let me put all of it.
Okay, then just, you do it however it's gonna work. Let's see. Chocolate with sides of chocolate, says Lori. And Kimberly says, I put most of my Ninja Creami pints in chronometer. On average, I get 4 cones out of a deluxe pint or 2 bowls. So it's like a cup and a half per bowl. No, actually it's 3/4 of a cup per bowl, with cones averaging about 150 and bowls about 300 calories. Oh, good. I'm glad your mouth is watering.
Max says his is too.
Yeah, Max is like, are you making a chipmunk flavored creamy? And I'm like, no, this is a vegan show. We don't do chipmunks. Are you very excited?
You might get to hear the famous aha in a minute.
Did you want to get that chipmunk? Sometimes he'll go, uh-huh. But, okay, here we go. Dee can't wait for the cilantro. I thought that. And let's see. Tiger tail might even be regional, is what Apple's saying. I haven't tried the fennel tea because I have licorice root tea, so I don't have enough fennel seeds right now, but I am thinking about that. It may not end up making the book, but it'll probably happen this summer. Always Learning says you could use jalapeno spice powder to make it spicy. Nothing's ever spicy enough for her. Everything is too spicy for Cheryl.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Joanne says a repeat question, and I know I'm going backwards now. When you're making ice cream with white sweet potato and dates, you combine the two to make a half cup. I would use a half a cup of sweet potato. I would not combine the two. There are some cases that could change. That's why I'm writing a cookbook. But if I'm just making something up, I start with a half a cup of white sweet potato. Yes, all the pictures are from my new cookbook, brand new, and I still have a bunch more to take. So that's less than half, or well, I don't know. I don't know how many recipes that was. It was about half.
Yeah, it's about half.
Maybe a little more than half. Victoria says cilantro and jalapeno, excellent. Oh, good. Apple's got the licorice details for me. And Claire says, I agree with Cheryl. I only eat chocolate ice cream. I'd love to try Kathy's non-chocolate recipes, though. Okay. And Ellen says, oh my, so many delicious options. Which to make first? Exactly. Oh, Terry, thank you so much. Terry says, yum, yum, yum. And now I think I have let's see, let's go back to the bottom. I think I've gotten all the questions. Oh, and Tanya says, just like the chickpea. Yeah, he is very riled up. As would any dog who sees a chipmunk run right in front of him.
I think it ran right across his bed.
Oh, did it get on your bed?
Did it get on your bed?
Did it get on your bed? Did the chipmunk get on your bed? I did. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Do you want to show me?
I'm so sorry, you guys. I feel like maybe our lives should be like subtitled Chipmunk Drama Part 15. And I hope we get this one back out. I really think the chipmunks want to live with us, and they could if they didn't go to the bathroom in every corner of the house. There was a lot. Remember, we did the whole ladybug cleaner video when we cleaned up part of the house from the chipmunk. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much. I'm glad you ordered the new book, and hopefully you will love it. Also, Tanya says for us it's bunnies. The bunnies are outside, and we have a deck that's a second-story deck, and he watches the bunnies. They are cute little crazy souls. What are you trying to get him so he'll lay down in here?
Just trying, but he's like.
He's got there's a bed underneath the desk.
No, I moved it because he wanted it in there last night.
You want to why don't you bring his bed in?
Okay.
She gave him a treat. We're just trying to calm him down. He's a senior. We don't want to get his blood pressure too high.
Okay, stay right there. Stay.
Let's see. He is the cutest. Thank you. And adorable. Thank you for that as well. So do you guys have more questions in general? Because the thing is I want to let you know the ebook 2 is available. Ninja Creami Experience is half price.
Come on.
But I'm also here to help you answer things. And we can also do a slushie real quick if there's not more questions. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to say. Betsy says, I love Max and don't blame the chipmunk for wanting to live with you. If they just wouldn't pee everywhere, it just starts.
Well, and the thing was with the last time this happened, he didn't react like that to the chipmunk.
Well, the chipmunk didn't run in front of him. When he saw the chipmunk, when the chipmunk was in a trap, he actually cut his lip on the trap because he went for it before we could get him. Okay, let me get
but like
this pint.
Fergus, who's supposed to be like, a cat,
who brought it in,
brings him in, and then he just lets him run all around. He just watches them. He gets up to the top of his perch up there and just looks for him. He doesn't try to hurt it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, will you hand me that water from there?
This water?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, it's heavy.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm asking you to hand it to me. Okay, I saw the slushie. The class is still to be determined, but I suspect it's going to be the first week. It's in the first 10 days of June, I think. I'm teaching up to the Sunday before. So it's hard for me to do all the pictures, make all the recipes, look at the tester site, and plan June. But it's probably going to be in June, and it's going to be listed in the ThriveCart site. So once you buy ebook 2, the pre-order, once you pre-order ebook 2, if you're watching this later and you're ordering it, that's a different thing. You will look in and it'll say, hey, there's going to be a class sometime. It doesn't tell you anything else because I don't have it. And then this is where the ebook will be because it's not there yet. It should drop May 31st if everything goes as planned. It is very possible, since I'm doing it all myself, it could come a couple days early or a couple days later, but I will keep you guys updated on that. If you're on my mailing list, you have the option to get only Ninja Creami emails or to get no Ninja Creami emails. So if you're buying the ebook 2 and you don't want to hear what happens tonight when I go and I have banana blossom fish, you can just go down to your settings and change that. I have an exact thing of how to do that today that's in the email I just sent out. So the cookbook is going to be, you're pre-ordering, it's going to be available May 31st is the plan, if all goes as scheduled. Can I deliver? You know, if someone wants to help me clean up my house, there could be an ice cream party, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Let's see. And then you have to eat everything. But I figure I'm just looking at this as ice cream prep for the summer. Because I'll spin it, take the photo, put it back in and freeze it, and I put it downstairs. And then we can just pull from downstairs as we're eating that. Justine says, I'm not a chipmunk, but I'd also love to live with you. I'd be eating very well. That's awesome. Max is so entertaining. Oh, you're not getting him in that bed. It's like, I am not up for this reality TV experience. He wants some privacy. Let's see. No chipmunks here, but we're overrun with squirrels. Raven says, I take care of a cat part-time that loves to sleep with the guinea pigs. Oh my gosh, cuddled right in next to them. That is so adorable. You guys. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to, some of you guys may have seen me do this before. This is a Ninja Creami original pint. It was about half full, a little bit more than half full. If I was making this in the deluxe, I would freeze it to the freeze line. And then we would add water in between that. So it would be frozen like this. Imagine, put on your Imagine earmuffs and let's go. So it would be up to here frozen, and I would pour water until it got to this scoopable, drinkable pour-in line, right to right here. So this would be one, and then it's about half an inch, I'm thinking. This is built for that, so it's taller. If we're going to do a slushie in here, I'm not going to add water or milk if I was going to do a creamicino. What I'm going to do is spin it first as if it's just ice cream or sorbet or whatever it might be, and then we're going to add liquid and use the milkshake setting. It's not hard. And chances are, even if you use the creamicino setting on your deluxe, you might have to do it a second time to make it thinner. I almost always do, especially for you. Because I like things really thick, like ridiculously thick. And you're like, it won't go through my straw.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so that's the difference. And so this is a normal spinning thing. Okay, and this inside of here, oh, here we go, I'm still getting used to this, is just fresh strawberries blended with canned pears and juice. And I think Aldi's right now has some, and you can probably get them somewhere else. These are just pear slices and pear juice. I blend this whole thing up. In the first book, I use the pears separate from the juice, but they're recipes that use both. And this one, I'm blending them together. And I'm just scraping off that hump. See how easy it is to do? And then I'm just leveling it off a little bit. That is just one of the ways I'm trying to save my machine. Also, it's the perfect time to taste. And I can go, this is so good.
That's so good.
These are from fresh strawberries from the farmer's market. Okay, so it is going to get loud for a few minutes, but I'll look at more questions and stuff too. So we're going to put this in. There's little things here. There's little things there. So always what I do is I sit it down and twist it in case it didn't get there. Right? So it lets me know it's in the holes. This goes on top, locks, and we put it in. I am going to press. Once I press on, these are up. If this wasn't in tight, if the blade wasn't in, something like that, it's going to be flashing. And I'm going to do sorbet. And this is going to take a couple minutes of loud. Okay, so now it's starting to come back up. You guys got to see a little bit of how it works up close. And Marie, I don't really use plant protein, but I'm assuming you could. So that's not, I would ask in the vegan Ninja Creami Facebook group, not the whole food plant-based group, which does not use protein powders, but the vegan group. Dee's saying, do I still use the Breeze? I do. I've used all three. I've had zero problems with any of them. But I do little things. So, and Max is just so worked up, so I do apologize. It did come purple. So QVC, and actually QVC, I think they were down to 2 colors. They had a bunch of colors. I got this one at QVC with extra containers years ago. But also the deluxe one came in some weird colors. So I was happy to have purple though. All right, so let me show you this. Okay, so I've taken it out. And I'm hoping, yeah, awesome. This is what I was hoping. See how powdery it is? Now let me see if I can, see, it's really powdery. So a lot of times people look at that and go, I hate the Ninja Creami. It was supposed to be creamy. It's powdery. What it means, because I took it straight from the freezer, my freezers are very cold. You can do a couple things if this happens to you all the time. You can take your pine out 5 to 10 minutes before, and then it's going to melt a little bit. Or we can just add additional liquid and respin. We are going to be making this into a slushie, so I don't really care. I don't care if this is powdery at all, but it's very, very powdery, light and airy. Let me show you. So I'm making a little hole in here. And because I want it to be a slushie, I'm putting water. This is just our well water. And we'll try about that much. We can always add more. And then we're going to just put it back in and hit the I'm going to hit the milkshake button. We're probably going to hit the respin button too. If it was that powdery and you were going to eat it as sorbet, I would use respin. Milkshake does it a little bit to mix all the liquid in with the ice cream, so we're going to do that. And you can hear it, get quieter as it's pulling that blade up. And if you guys have more questions, you can still put them in too. Yeah, Okara keeps it way creamier. And I like the Okara and the white sweet potato both for that. Right now we're making a strawberry pear sweetened slushie. And we're making it in the original model, which doesn't have the slushie setting. So what we did is we used the sorbet setting. We added some liquid. And actually, this is pretty good. I think you're going to like this. So see how, so that's a really thick slushie. Maybe you don't want yours quite that thick. That could also go as a little bit melty sorbet. So also, let's talk about this too real quick. Because I did it so frozen, it has some ice wall, which means the blade, if it were to get to exactly where the plastic is, it would pull the plastic into your drink, so it doesn't. An ice wall, I'm just going to come in here and scrape it down and scrape the bottom. And I'm going to add a little more liquid to make this a little bit thinner. So you can kind of, if I put this here, you can sort of see it there, but like you can see it kind of moving. I just take a tablespoon, go around. And then in the very bottom, it's going to be there too. So I'm just going to get that up so it gets mixed more into everything. And this isn't something you have to do, but if this is something you don't enjoy about it, it's an easy way. I'm going to add, actually this will just get it, make sure it doesn't splash as much. I'm going to add some more water because I want it to be thinner. See, I always twist that. And I'm just going to do milkshake again, and I'll be back. Yes, Miss Terry, you could add the bitters when you're adding the water, or you could have added the bitters to your sorbet mixture that you put and froze originally. Either place would work fine. And Dee is saying, I like this for a granita. Exactly. And even if you like frozen coffees or chais, honestly, it's kind of a time saver. And where can you get a strawberry slushie that's pear sweetened? And this is like a granita. That's kind of a good way to look at it. I'll let you see how I made it less like, see? And now it's still pretty thick. So it's not like it's thin, but it's a little more drinkable now. And you can do this, you can make margaritas. Mocktail margaritas or regular margaritas. So there's going to be a margarita and a Mai Tai that I'm going to use 0 alcohol spirits in. So it's, and let's see, I've got a glass straw. Do you want to taste it?
Yeah, let me get my mic back on.
Okay.
All right, back in business.
Move this away a little bit.
Thanks.
You can have it.
I don't want the whole thing.
So the only thing about slushies, if we decided we didn't want it, I could freeze it, but then it's going to be really full. So I'd still have to process it as sorbet, take half of it out, maybe put it in a different container, add more water. It's also going to get more liquidy if I did that too. But that's how you do that. So this is the main reason I'm saying it doesn't matter deluxe, original, only the size. That's 3 cups you make in the Ninja. You could make 2 cups in the original. Oh, I had the very best birthday, Claire. Thank you so much for asking. I feel like it was a bazillion years ago, and it was just 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Like a little.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like
3 weeks maybe at the most.
Most. Isn't that crazy?
I'm trying to remember, like, we went to the Fairy Festival. What else did we do?
I think on my birthday we just hung out at the house.
Yeah.
And just relaxed. It was delightful. I wish you could reach a spoon.
We went to Ethiopian on your birthday.
Oh, we did, with Faith and Jessica. Yeah, there's a great Ethiopian restaurant in Cary that we love, A-Ways, if you're in the area. Laura says, I'm in the club. I'm with Cheryl in Club No Spice. Ruins all other flavors and hurts my tongue, throat, and tummy. Yeah. And you can always adjust recipes. And Always Learning says, I wish I could reach a spoon through, and I wish you could too, because I would love for you to taste it. Mimosas. You could do mimosas. I would see how it works. You may not be able to use as much champagne, alcoholic or non, because of the carbonation. I also find that I did test doing this halfway and adding in milk or water to make a creamy or slushy. It's not tall enough and it slushes all over in here. So don't do it if you have an original. If you have a deluxe, it's set up for that. Anybody else have any other questions? Because we have been live for over 2 hours and I think it is time to go.
Well, we got to get you back on your bookmaking.
Yeah, I got recipes to put in the tester site, and I've got photos to take and things like that. But I know there were a lot of questions, and I just wanted to give you an idea instead of just going, hey, I have this new thing. And you going, I don't know what that means. And just realize you can do so many things with whole food plant-based ingredients that are great. And poor little Maxie.
He sounds like an obscene phone call.
He's like, don't put your head so close to mine. Okay, so we're going to go take care of our he evidently needs all the attention since he saw the chipmunk.
You're going to have to do a calming W-A-L-K.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen before anything else happens. Oh, thank you. I'm super excited too. I've been really excited with the recipes I'm making, and I feel like it's really it's a step up, and it's also more whole food plant-based. Not that the other one isn't. It's just there's only a few nuts in this one, and there's more nut options in the other one. So maybe I'm just being nitpicky. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And if you're like, I can't wait till the book comes out, go look at I've got tons of Ninja Creami videos here on YouTube. I've got Ninja Creami like troubleshooting stuff and recipes over on Healthy Slow Cooking, so you can go look at some of those as well. So I think that is it, and I will talk to you guys very soon. I'll probably do another live next week if I can, and so if you have some questions, let me know, put it down below. Yeah, I can't wait till the ebook is done either. Probably more than you, but probably not. No, it being in the process is always a little stressful, but this one's been a lot of fun too. Okay, you guys have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave anything in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Okay?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.